Hi everybody. Someone in the comment section linked me this video and asked me what do I think about it, so I'm just gonna review it. First of all, before the video even starts, like look at this part of the video. Like everybody's dancing and there are no smartphones. Yeah, look, there's some of them are like smoking or whatever, but if you wanted something funny, you would have to interact with people and have like funny conversations, and everybody was like more sensitive to humor and all of this. Like people had more feelings somehow. We were not as these. We definitely had more feelings back then, like we humans. And if you wanted to like do something crazy, then yeah, you would just do it, and just to get like some type of adrenaline or something, you would have to do something stupid. You don't just go on YouTube like nowadays and watch like something extreme or whatever to get that feeling that someone else did it. Or it's not like that nowadays that you go into a video game like GTA and you do their crazy stuff. Like if you wanted to experience crazy stuff, you have to do it. And yeah, that was like a different experience. I experienced myself life without internet, without smartphones, so yeah, I know this.
Before the 1960s, everyone used to be...
Not like I lived in 1960s, but I'm from the 90s, but still, that where I am from, there were not much technology and not much internet.
be thin, and they consistently ate over 3,000...
It doesn't matter that they ate 3,000 calories. Look what's in here in the picture. This cake, it's made out of milk, butter, eggs, and grain sludge. This grain sludge part also has animal fats. Like of course it has eggs. I don't think in cake they would put like, I don't know, in some cases maybe, but some pastry in my hometown, even if it would be like some type of pastry with jam, it's not vegan. Like it's gonna have pork fat in it 100% to make it more like smokiness or something. It gives like a good feeling to it. Like when you combine grain sludge with animal fat, it definitely it's gonna give good taste to the grain sludge. So yeah, you can have 3,000 calories. I used to eat so many cakes and all these bakeries with like it was like a bakery and it had like animal fat in it and flour, so it was like grain sludge of course, and some apple with sugar, and I used to eat like so many plates of it and I never was fat or anything. Like it doesn't matter that you eat grain sludge or whatever. Yeah, it's not like super beneficial because it's just sugar, but that's not what makes you fat. It only happens when you're eating like seed oils, and back then and in my household we were not consuming much seed oils at all.
1,000 calories and 100 grams of sugar per day. Marilyn Monroe was known for having the ideal figure, but the 50s icon had a diet and exercise regimen that was nothing like that of today's beauty and...
Okay, maybe in America they introduced seed oils faster than in my place.
Influencers. Marilyn was documented to gorge on foods.
She's having meat here. It looks like it was like, I don't know, like in the oven. It looks like chicken or something.
Like toast, orange juice, cereal.
All these don't really cause you to gain, doesn't really make you like fat. Like if you think about it, it used to be a diet that if you eat cereal you're gonna lose weight, because it basically that's what it was invented for. It was for people with digestive, I don't know, I think it was some type of experiment. Like it's not the best thing to eat it, but you definitely not getting weight from this unless it has seed oils inside, and these are typically really low on oil and you're not gonna convert much of this into fat.
Crackers, pasta, butter, milk, eggs,
Yeah, buttermilk, all of this don't cause you to be fat.
Coca-Cola, eggnog, custard, and even nightly hot fudge sundaes. While her acting career
Most of that is just made out of, like, this wasn't the time. I look at okay, these are like celebrities and whatever, dancers and actors, but they really take care of themselves. But the average person, it wasn't as overweight back then. I blame it all on seed oils, honestly.
certainly kept her on her feet. Even 10 minutes of
Seed and plant oils.
working out was considered a lot for her. Marilyn was not a
Yeah, there's no need to work out. It's only diet. The diet makes you fat, and the diet can make you help lose the fat.
an outlier either, as these habits were standard for people during this
It's anyway, I'm just gonna watch it. I think I comment too much.
era, who despite being exceptionally thin by today's standards, were not on low-fat or plant-based diets. They weren't counting
Exactly, nobody was counting calories. Like, I was eating so much, man, and yeah, family was complaining that I'm never getting any weight or something. But I was getting taller and everything, but I was just not getting like super bulky or something. Maybe it was because of all the grain sludge or whatever. But yeah, definitely that the cooked organs and the so much animal fat, it did help me to be taller.
calories, and they didn't even do low carb or high protein. We combed through the depths of lost historical
I would say high protein, yes. Like, I consumed plenty of lean meat and also a lot of animal fat. So yeah, there was no protein lacking there. And eggs were my favorite. As a kid, I already asked for runny egg yolks because that was my favorite.
records to present the findings to you. You'll discover how much people really ate, the foods that created generations of slim people, why exercise had little to do with it.
Even the hamburgers that these guys were having, like, the Coca-Cola doesn't really cause you to gain weight. And back then I think it was even healthier than now. Yeah, it still contains like caffeine or whatever, but now it contains like extra additives or whatever. And this bun, it could have been like grain starch with pork fat or beef fat or something to make it so smooth, and added some eggs, and inside it's like a cooked meat or whatever. It's not that bad as today. Like, if I would make a bread, I would make it exactly like this. I would not add like olive oil or whatever, just add grain starch and pork fat, and there you have it.
Slim people, why exercise had little to do with it, and what key factor changed that more than quadrupled the obesity rate in just
What key factor? Seed oils. And yeah, those were designed for machines and not for us. I can give you example. Like I said, I used to be like slim. Then I went vegan. And yeah, I was eating whatever I wanted. Like 8, 9 veggie burgers or whatever per day with mustard and whatever sauce I wanted, with like mustard and vegan mayonnaise, of course normal mayonnaise also, but those have some seed oils, plus the veggie burgers and all of that was tasty. And some brioche buns, that there is so much seed oils in that, guys, you just can't believe it. And vegan hot dogs, and what else it was on menu. I just remember that these were my absolute favorites to consume as a vegan, because I was confident that I can eat just whatever, because I'm not gonna get fat. And Fruity Amy, if you're watching this, I kind of was like you. Like, I was getting like a bigger belly, or I wouldn't consider myself obese, but I was on my way to get obese because of eating all these vegan foods.
70 years. In the
Definitely not here. But I was on my way. No, I wasn't like this. And here I am now. Um, and yeah, I'm eating as much animal fat as I want. And at a certain point, I just have to stop. My body doesn't want it, and it's very optimal. I'm not gonna get fat anymore. Okay, let's just watch it.
The obesity rate in just 70 years. In the 1960s and prior, the obesity rate was consistently under 10%. It really started increasing in the 70s and 80s and has only gotten worse since, now sitting at about 40%. In the late 19
I'm gonna be really disappointed if they're gonna say like calories or whatever. Something has to do with calories, because food became more and more addictive. Because yeah, they came up with more clever ideas to make you eat more, and yeah, probably that's why. Because maybe a recipe just made with seed oils, it's not gonna be as addicting as something with all these flavor enhancers and color changing, and to make it really appealing to your eye and to make it look nice, make it like taste like addictive, and somehow to still keep you hungry, so you go back to it. But yeah, that's how modern food is.
1940s, a study was conducted on US Army soldiers to measure exactly how much they were eating, and despite only weighing 150
If they're gonna say calories or whatever, that's gonna be really disappointing. I hope they're gonna make like at least something about seed oils and how much chemicals they added to make it addictive. Even now, when I'm having the food that I want, I still think back how it felt to have like a bag of what's the name of that, Cheetos. Like sometimes that just felt so nice. But I did try it like a year ago, and it was just disappointing. Like I would never have that. Like why would I have fake cheese powder when I can have the real raw cheese and something like Gruyere or Comté? Like come on, that's the original thing.
57 pounds on average, the men gorged on nearly 6,000 calories per day. While the troops of course were more active than the average Joe, they weren't working out like maniacs to earn those calories either. The researchers stated that, judging by interrogation and observation, the average man was moderately active and spent about 3 hours daily in the open. The soldiers...
Of course, it's not really natural to just sit in front of a computer like office workers and whatever. That's also not good, and it's not normal to just sit and stare at the screen and yeah, just do absolutely nothing for hours and hours and hours. Like in nature you wouldn't do that because you would just get bored, but nowadays it's just entertainment in your hands, the smartphones and computers and TVs. You don't even need to stand up to switch the channel, you know. You just press the thing.
Diets consisted of milk, meat, bread, potatoes, fruit, vegetables, eggs, and even lots of white sugar. That's right, the soldiers were putting...
I don't see any seed oils here. I don't see anything that gets you fat here. I mean, you can deposit some fat from meat, fish, and all of that, eggs, but you're gonna definitely look different if you would get fat just on animal fat, because let's say you had like good appetite or something, or maybe pregnant or something, and you crave some extra fat. That will look entirely different than an obese person that got fat from seed oils, McDonald's, KFC, and all of that.
Away anywhere from 3/4 of a cup to half a pound of refined sugar daily. The soldiers also ate more food when it got colder, likely to increase their rate of resting metabolism and heat production adaptively. Yes, eating more to increase metabolism is not just a pipe dream.
Let me know in the comment section, what do you blame for all of this? Like to the increase of obesity in population. I blame seed oils and all these additives that make it like flavor enhancers and all of this, and using like spices and all of these people who test the product before, and yeah, they measure like the wave in your brain, like it's not only about the feedback that they give, oh, that this tastes good. Like they measure some type of wave in their head, and if that wave is high or something on psychological level, then yeah, that food is good. And then they just package it in a nice package, and yeah, they place it on the shelf, and it just sells and just makes money. And that, if that's what makes money, then that's they're gonna make.
But something everyone seemed to do without worry in this era. We'll get to just how they were able to do it later in the video. Working out tirelessly for hours on end was not how people were able to stay lean while eating more. Another example is in...
Like Gotti said, there were not too many gyms back then. Like, yeah, if you wanted to work out or something, you would go for I don't know, play football or something, kick the ball or something like that. And yeah, that's somehow different, because I don't know, when I used to play a lot of football when I was a kid, and nowadays I'm kind of hating it, but I would say it's still a different feeling to play it and have fun with like friends and just have conversation and have drama and whatever, than watching it in TV or whatever. Yeah, it's just a different experience, and yeah. And when you're tired or something, you just, I don't know, you take it back. Like, you're not forcing yourself to do extra sets or anything.
1945, where US soldiers were recorded as having eaten an average of 3,700 calories a day, including over 400 grams of carbohydrate and 180 grams of fat daily. The researchers documenting this stated, there was no significant variation of caloric intake with degree of activity of troops.
Because not too much seed oils, man. I don't know when seed oils appeared, to be honest. Like 100 years ago or something.
Around the turn of the 20th century, people from Denmark were consistently recorded consuming over 3,000 calories daily. The record keepers noted that the most prosperous of the families again reached the same level as the agricultural worker in their consumption.
Maybe if you would ask these people, they would be like, what is seed oils? Why? Like, we know cheese, we know animal fats and all of this, but yeah, olive oil and avocado oil or whatever, spray with 1 calorie or whatever, they don't know what that is. And there was no bags of chips, and yeah, no seed oils, no seed oil products.
Of calories. The more well-to-do classes, mostly doctors, obtained a fair supply of energy, particularly when their restricted amount of muscular work is taken into account. In other words, the rich ate a lot, didn't move much relative to the laborers and farmers, but were still exceptionally thin, as the researchers here stated that...
I would also say that I ate a lot. Like, a lot. Like, I'm not joking. Like, my family said that, yeah, I just never get satisfied with food or something. Okay, when there were like vegetables and everything, vegetable soups, and I didn't like that. But when there was something that I liked, then yeah, I just didn't stop eating it. I don't care.
A man of normal weight was just 154 pounds. The US's 1939 Book of Agriculture gives us a glimpse into the diets of the time. On average, people consumed around 3,500 calories daily, with the wealthiest consuming well in excess.
I hate it how they just say calories, but they don't mention from what.
Excess of 4,000 calories daily, again weighing around 150.
Oh man, this is gonna be really boring if it's just gonna be about calories. Like, come on, man. Even something like cabbage, they calculate calories or whatever. What calories you getting from that? Come on, nothing.
4 pounds with just moderate activity levels. The more people made, the more they spent on food and the more they ate. They also ate a lot of sugar. Throughout the 20s and 30s, the US bought anywhere from 106 to 118 pounds of sugar per person per year, equivalent to right around 140 grams or 3/4 of a cup of sugar daily.
This is really sad. Like, I can't imagine adding to anything sugar. I'm having sugar from the fruit and from the juices. Yeah, the juices have some extra, but there's no added sugar as far as I buy pretty good quality, and yeah, there's no added sugar unless the company lies. But yeah, that can happen.
Even more incredible is that this is literally just from refined white sugar. This doesn't even count the sugar from milk, fruits, and vegetables, which constituted some of the largest components of the diet. Bread and potatoes were also consumed in massive quantities, making this a high-carb, high-sugar diet. They also ate so much saturated fat that the fat intake was recorded as either butter or fats other than butter. They also consumed plenty of meat, including organs and eggs, while so-called plant proteins like beans, peas, and nuts were essentially negligible. In 1943, the average diets of the US, Canada, and the United Kingdom included tons of white sugar at over 100 grams or half a cup per day, and plenty of milk, meat, fruits, vegetables, potatoes, and bread. This all amounted to supplies north of 3,000 calories, including around 400 grams of carbohydrate and 130 grams of fat per day. Yet there's absolutely no inclination that these people were even close to being as fat as we are today. The average
Come on, show some modern diet.
man and woman were listed at 154 and 123 pounds respectively.
Look at all these people. They look really good. Like, completely healthy. Yeah.
They also didn't care about protein nearly as much as the fat loss influencers of today, maintaining their lean physiques with no more than 100 grams of protein per.
Because there were no magazines spread out. I think Arnold was around back then, and yeah, he was. I think he was considered yeah, I don't know. You really have to get brainwashed into that, but not too many people were brainwashed into that. Like, I would say that still some of the people even made fun of him, like looking like Hulk or whatever. I don't know if Hulk was around back then, but yeah, of course there were not as many cartoons and animes with all these unrealistic figures. Like, you would say that those type of figures are like humans from another planet, and yeah, it's just exaggeration of the things.
Per day. Another analysis from 1945 further confirms these trends, showing that the diets of the US, Canada, and UK were very similar to that of 1943. However, when the researchers looked at the average diet in Brussels, Belgium, they stated that it was deficient in calorific value, calcium, riboflavin, animal protein, and fats. Can you imagine a statement today claiming a Western society was deficient in calories, animal protein, and fat? While today's dietary guidelines impose limits on calories, sugar, and saturated fats, telling us to swap animal protein for plant protein, the concerns of the
We tell you that because maybe they don't want you to keep you healthy.
pre-obesity era were the complete opposite. Calories were treated like any other nutrient. They were concerned about people getting enough, whereas today the guidelines have calorie limits. Recommended intake was at least 3,000 for an average man and 2,500 for an average woman, who weighed 154 and 123 pounds respectively. At least 3,800 calories was considered a good target for young men 16 to 20 years old, and tiny teenage girls were told to eat an insane 2,800 calories.
Imagine sitting down and calculating your calories. Like, oh, I drink. Yeah, actually they do that. That's why they have the scales and all of that. Oh my days, man. If I need to eat more, I'm just gonna eat more, and if I don't need to eat more, I need to eat less, then yeah, just eat less. Sometimes I'm just having like one big chunk of heart, and that's it. That's my snack.
They also provided meal plans, suggesting a diet of milk at every meal, meat, bread, potatoes, sugar, fruits, and vegetables. Getting your recommended amount of sugar and calories for the day apparently didn't make anyone fat. One of the most
It won't make you fat if you're not eating meat and you're just drinking that. It's you just feel you just keep feeling hungry, man. You just still feel empty, and if you have bread or grains or something, you kind of trick your mind that there is something there to digest, and it's kind of tricky, but it won't be as satisfying and as nutrient dense as meat. So yeah, you're gonna just end up like this guy.
Famous studies in the history of nutrition was the Minnesota starvation experiment, which took place in the late 1940s. In order to starve the men, they first needed to understand how much they were eating to begin with.
What in the world, man? You really don't need to have any self-respect to do this.
This involved feeding the men and tracking what they ate to maintain their weight. These men maintained an average weight of around 150 pounds, yet ate well over 3,000 calories daily. A typical dinner on this maintenance diet was roast beef with gravy, whipped potatoes, tomato salad, and ice cream for dessert. I know more than a few people that would say they would get fat just thinking about that type of daily dinner.
Especially nowadays. I challenge any of those people to just make their own ice cream out of milk. I would say make it out of raw milk at least. But and have the meat and the potatoes, whatever, but don't add any seed oils. And let's see how fat you get.
1942 and 1948, again,
you won't get fat at all. Just saying.
We see that the wealthiest people would eat the most despite having...
I mean, depends what fat it means to you, but it's not that... you definitely will lose weight if you're obese already on that diet, no matter how many calories you eat. I would recommend eating more meat than potatoes, of course, but yeah.
Having non-labor occupations. Again, we see people were eating the classic 30s and 40s diet. In 1942, the average amount of calories per person purchased was around 3,500, and that number jumped up to around 3,800 calories in 1948. Fruit,
all these numbers are so boring, man.
Vegetables, dairy, meat, bread, potatoes, and 1 to 2 pounds of sugars and sweets.
So far, I don't see any seed oils, man. Like, I didn't heard seed oils at all.
Per week. Yet, despite all of this, you can't find a fat person in this old footage if you tried. This trend continued into the 1950s, where English factory workers were on average 5'7" and 147 pounds and ate 3,500 calories per day. This included non-active workers like the glorious roles of filler of toothbrushes, rotary machine operator, and polisher. They also mentioned that a previous pilot study showed the calorie intake did not on the average vary between groups of men doing work of different degrees of activity. Clearly our not so distant ancestors ate way more and ate lots of things we think of as unhealthy today.
Look, this bread right here. Yeah, it's grain sludge. It's flour, and the top of that, it's like brushed with egg whites or some type of egg or something, and the bakery on top, which looks like, I don't know, something like with apple, like that's what it reminds me, like apple in the middle. It also has like pork fat or eggs in it to make it softer and smoother. Yeah.
But they did not have health issues we currently struggle with. Ultimately, the explanation here is that our metabolisms have been completely and utterly decimated over the past 100 years. There's no biological...
For example, today, if I would want to buy an apple pie, yeah, that's what it's called actually, apple pie, what I was talking about. An apple pie, and I would check the ingredients, I would see there palm oil, like what these people didn't even knew what palm oil is, and some type of eggs and flour. Why add palm oil? Like, I get it that it helps with softness and all of that, but yeah, even muffins. You like muffins because it's more softer than bread, and yeah, I would say muffins are pretty delicious because turns the grain sludge into more smooth thanks to the eggs, and yeah, and the sweetness and all of that. It kind of turns it into like a fruit, and yeah, it still has some fat in it. So that's why you like muffins. It's not because of the flour, it's because of the animal fats and the sweetness.
Reason why the body can't simply increase the conversion of extra food into energy, whether that's through functions like heat, detoxification, digestion, regeneration, or simply having more subjective mental and physical energy. However, tons of factors in the modern environment can inhibit this process, slow our metabolism, and cause us to store the energy we eat as fat while leaving us feeling tired and run down. People from this
Yeah, we have completely different lifestyles today, so yeah, that also adds to the equation, but yeah, on a healthy diet we would still look better. Like, diet is everything. You would sleep better and all of that.
era ate mostly animal fat, butter, and cream, whereas today we eat mostly vegetable oil, which
Yep, I said it. You only get into this in like after like 90% of the video in. But yeah, I get it. You wanted to make like an interesting video.
has anti-metabolic and thus fattening effects.
Yep.
We don't eat the whole animal anymore, including all of the tendons, organs, and
Yes, there you have it. Like, you vegans just can't understand this.
even the glands that produced hormones, neglecting a unique set of compounds with beneficial effects. Then there's pollutants like BPA, heavy metals, PFAs, parabens, and so many more that get stored in fat to protect the rest of the organs from their toxicity. Spending less time outside in communities and in nature has decimated the microbial environments in our bodies, making us more susceptible to bacterial.
Exactly. Like back then, kids didn't sit like in front of tablets or whatever, watching YouTube, like doom scrolling already at really young age. We went outside. I was begging my parents to let me outside, and there were punishments that you can't go outside because you did this, and I was like really sad because I couldn't go outside and see my friends. What about kids today? Like, you have to take the punishment is you take away the phones, the tablets, the computers. You don't let them use that and go outside maybe. Or yeah, and then they'll miss it, and that's the punishment. It's just incredible. Like, I remember being able to sneak outside to play with my friends, and I was like happy. I was happy that I don't have to do math. I don't have to learn for school or something. Like, I just couldn't wait to go outside. And outside you definitely get microbes and all of that, and those are good for you.
Overgrowths in the gut that end up fattening us up. Our food has become a smorgasbord of emulsifiers, added vitamins, gums, flavorings, and so much more that inflame our digestion and leave us ripe for fat gain. Since the birth of Big Pharma in the 1940s, we've been exposed to
Of course, this as well. Because let's say you're like tired from work and you're having a headache and you should sleep, but there's no time for you to sleep. You have to take a painkiller because you have to continue working, or you come home from work and you're having a headache or something hurts, your back hurts or something, you take painkiller, and yeah, that can kind of mess up your appetite and everything, and you just want comfort and you think about ordering a McDonald's or whatever, something with seed oils, and you just have it.
increasingly higher loads of drugs that poison our energy metabolism, even if we aren't prescribed them. Even the light we get exposed to, enriched in blue light and lacking the rest of the natural frequencies, plays a role in putting on weight. With metabolism disrupting factors,
While I'm watching this video, I'm in front of my monitor and the microphone has blue light lightning out of it. So yeah, that's true. I don't know much about this blue light, man. Like, if you have a healthy diet, come on, blue light, little bit, it's not gonna be like that bad. If you still get out on the sun and you're eating a healthy diet, yeah, it's not gonna be as good as just being outside. But yeah.
everywhere you look, it can be difficult to navigate how to best improve your health, and you could benefit from some personalized help. That's why we created Prism, our ultra premium health consulting
All this, it was like a advertisement.
platform. We've assembled a team of metabolic specialists to come together and tailor a health strategy specifically for you. Click the top right of your screen or the link in the description.
Yeah, he's just trying to sell you something. Can we skip this? Yep.
All in all, The pre-obesity 1930s, 40s, and 50s diet was remarkably consistent. Something like 80 to 100 grams of protein, 400 grams of carbs, and 100 to 140 grams of fat.
Which most of that, it came from animals.
This applied to grown men regardless of activity levels and was scaled similarly for women too. Yet, these men weighed around 150 pounds and women around 120 pounds. A diet comprised of meat, eggs, milk, potatoes, breads, fruits and vegetables, fat from cream and butter, and yes, plenty of sweets too, led to obesity rates a fraction of what we see today. The reality is, you should be able to eat this type of diet without suffering from weight gain or other health issues.
It's impossible. And also some of it's like raw milk. It was also more frequent back then. Like now, you're just having pasteurized. And people back then, when pasteurized came in, like I don't know what was the year. Some of them were like very skeptical about pasteurized milk. I think because it caused constipation and everything, and they wanted to order raw milk.
As always, don't let them fool you. Subscribe to our channel.
Okay, it's a great video. Look, it says it right here. Truth about seed oils was hidden for decades. So yeah, there you have it. Okay, thanks for watching.